evening from whatever it is that you're watching at Lookuptv. Thank you very much for making time this evening for Lookup News. My name is Simba. Elijah Charles Kiage. It's a day that we've seen the country still gripped in a celebratory mood as Kenyans then enjoy the Boxing Day. That is the 26th of December 2022. For us, we're still here trying to traverse the country, giving you headlines of whatever it is taking center stage at this time. For now, let's take a look at the top stories that we're giving priority in our bulletin this evening. Tonight on Lookup News, 2 killed, house torched in suspected Al-Shabaab attack in Lamu. 8 babies born on Christmas Day in Kakamega. Medics decry increased number of malnourished children in Lookuptv County. Recovering from the disruption of the COVID-19 pandemic, real estate specialists weigh in. Across all our social media platforms at Lookuptv. Our sign language interpreter this evening is Josephine Aouko. Let's get started. Now, 2 people have been killed and a house torched in a suspected Al-Shabaab attack in a Tar village near Pandanguo in a Witu division, Lamu West. The attack is said to have been orchestrated by 8 heavily armed militants who were in a military regalia at around 8 p.m. Sunday. The security private to the operation have reported that the house torched belongs to a national police reservist, Kahindi Mangi, who's 50 years old, who was also present during the time of attack but managed to escape.
Kuna watu 5 walichinjwa hapa chini, ikawa mzozo ni huo wa mashamba. Wiki iliyopita walikuja watu 3 kwa jirani na wakaja wakamuuliza maswali. Huyo kijana ni mfanyaji kazi wa jirani yangu, akamwambia wewe hii shamba ulipewa na nani? Akasema nilipewa na wazee. Akasema wazee ni kina nani? Akataja hao wazee. Halafu hao watu akamwambia huyo kijana tunaenda, lakini baada ya wiki
shida nyingi.
Christmas celebrations kicked off. 8 babies were born at Kakamega Referral Hospital, all in good health, with the Kakamega Women Representative and Agoriti North Member of Parliament Beatrice Alachi witnessing their births, as Ian Kitani now reports.
Nitamwita Delin Israel juu anashare birthday na Yesu Kristo, na wakati tutakuwa tunakumbuka Christmas pia tutakuwa tuna celebrate birthday ya mtoto wangu.
Today we are blessed to have newborns. There are 8 in total. Out of the 8 we have 6 who delivered normally, 2 were delivered through cesarean section, and all of them are alive. We celebrate that.
We urge the government to partner with Kakamega so that the referral hospital that the former governor Oparanya started can come to completion, because if we have a referral here, it's going to help our people. The next referral hospital is in Eldoret, which is a bit far.
And so when I walked in, we walked into a HDU, and there's a girl from Busia County. It means we have very many patients who come from the metropolis of Western region, all of them looking for services in Kakamega. And that is why it is important to partner with the national government. I want to thank the leaders for accepting you need to partner with the national government to equip your referral hospital and to assist not just Kakamega residents but also the residents of Western region.
Moving on, widows and widowers in Kiage County have a reason to smile during this ongoing festive season after receiving a big support to boost them in the harsh economic difficulties from Purity International Ministries, which has initiated the program for the last 6 years. Rebecca Moseti and Francisca Ann commended the donors, stating that more of such is to be initiated to help the vulnerable.
Hatungestahili kupata hata sisi kitu chochote, lakini kupitia kwa hiki kikundi cha Purity International Ministries kimetuweka pamoja, at least kimetusaidia, tunaweza kutembea vizuri kwa sababu tumekula, hata tuko na mafuta ya kuweza kukaangia mboga, hatungeweza kukua.
Hii project imenisaidia sana kwa sababu sikuwa na chakula ukweli. Mpaka nilikuwa nasema Mungu utaniona kweli, lakini hii kitu imetusaidia kwa sababu hatukukuwa hata na pesa. Si mnaona wakati ilikuwa ngumu, tulikuwa tunasumbuka na watoto, niko na wachukuu wengine wanasoma, bado wanasubiri chakula kutoka kwa hii project yetu. Imetusaidia sana. Hata tunahitaji Mungu aendelee kuisikilia sana. Hata yule ambaye anatupea hii msaada, Mungu amsikilie na amuondolee magonjwa yoyote. Nimeshukuru zaidi kwa sababu nitakula vizuri, nitaoga vizuri na nitakunywa vile sikutarajia mimi mwenyewe. Kwa sababu achane tunapitia changamoto mingi. Ukweli kama saa hii watoto wetu wakionekana kwa nyumba ya mtu, anamwambia enda kwenu.
A section of clergy drawn from the expansive Mombasa County have urged the government to move in with a speed and address the prevailing high cost of living. The leaders say a low number of Kenyans that celebrated this year's Christmas festivities is a manifestation of a high cost of living that is beyond reach for majority of them. They have in the same breath urged their colleagues in the ministry to educate their flock on the true meaning of Christmas, noting that the message behind this important event is slowly fading out.
Tunatazamia na tukuuliza serikali pia iangalie mambo ya mafuta, iangalie sana, iteremshie ili mwananchi aweze kuwa na gharama kidogo ya chakula. Krismasi ni sisi tunafanya. Hata kanisani nimeona makanisa hakuna watu, lakini ukienda kwa bichi utakuta watu. Na ukienda utakuta wengine hawana habari. Lakini ilikuwa hivyo, hata kule wachungaji walikuwa makodeni wakichunga mali yao, ndio walitokewa na malaika. Wale waliokuwa wamekodisha nyumba na wakajaa mpaka Yesu akazaliwa kwa holi, maana si kwamba Yusufu alikuwa hana pesa. Hawa hawakuwa na habari. Hata sasa kuna watu hawana habari, hawajui ni nini. Na wajibu, na ningeuliza sisi kama wachungaji tuwaelezee na tujaribu kuwasungumuzia watu waelewe maana ya Krismasi.
Asherekea tukio, atusherekei siku. Kwa hivyo tujue kabisa kana kwamba Kristo amezaliwa katika maisha yetu. Watu wote wa Mombasa na Kenya yote kwa jumla tunawatakia Christmas njema yenye mafanikio.
Na watakieni nyote Christmas njema na msherekee mkiwa mnajua kwamba Kristo alizaliwa siku ya leo ili atuokoe maishani mwetu katika
Health practitioners in Nyahururu, Kiage County, are on a high alert following a reported surge in cases of malnutrition in young children and breastfeeding mothers. According to Dr. Maureen Wanjiku, a nutritionist at Nyahururu Referral Hospital, the health facility records over 3 cases a day in what is slowly now shaping up as a serious health crisis. And as a reporter Henry Tende expounds, most of the affected mothers are decrying poverty and a high cost of living as major contributing factors.
Young children section here at Nyahururu Hospital. This section usually has happy mothers with their bundles of joy, but today the mood is different. Medics here are not sitting pretty. Reason, there is a worrying trend of increase in malnutrition cases reported on a daily basis among young children and breastfeeding mothers.
Kwa siku tutapata watoto watatu, moja tu watatu kwa kila siku wakikuja hapa kwa ward kwa sababu ya cases za malnutrition.
Felista Wanjiru and Joyce Warigia are among parents who are at the facility with their children suffering severe state of malnutrition. They decry poverty and hard economic times as major reasons why they are in hospital today seeking medical intervention.
Sasa ile shida yenye imenileta hapa ni malnutrition, na nikiwa na mimba sikuweza kukula chakula vizuri, natapika, na ndio imefanya nikuwe hapa. Sasa mtoto wangu kutoka siku hiyo akona shida.
Kilo yake iko chini. Juu kilo 2.6 ni kidogo sana na mtoto wako na miezi 8. Unaona kama angekuwa na kilo kama 7-8 hivi. Lakini saa hizi iko chini sana juu ya hiyo shida ya kukosa yani kukula mzuri, kusidwa na kukula.
Dr. Maureen Wanjiru, a nutritionist at Nyahururu Referral Hospital, malnutrition is a serious health crisis with underlying severe diseases.
Ya mwili. So kinga ya mtoto inaenda chini kwa sababu ile tunasema immunity. One of the things yenye inajenga immunity ni lishe bora. So kinga ya mtoto inashuka sana na so anapata infections haraka.
Shida hiyo imefanya rudi nyuma. Hawezi fanya venye watoto wengine wanaendelea, na anapata na magonjwa mengi, kila ugonjwa inampata. Sasa naambia mama, mtu akiwa na shida kama hiyo akimbie hospitali apate mawaidha.
To effectively deal with the condition, Dr. Wanjiru is urging parents to stick to a balanced diet. She also recommends that parents should seek advice from qualified practitioners on how best to feed their children.
Ya kwanza ni kukula vizuri, na by kukula vizuri na maanisha a balanced diet. Na balance tunasemanga sisi kama nutritionist, kitu ya kwanza ni kuwa na ile chakula ya nguvu yenye ni starch. Na starch ni vitu zote kama mchele, vitu za unga kama chapati, kama mkate, vitu ambazo zinatoka chini kama ndoma, ngwashi, vitu kama hizo. Klasi ya pili tunasema ni proteins. Proteins inajenga mwili, inasaidia zile cells kumultiply na kurepair any damages. So proteins tunasema ni aina mbili, kuna za mimea na za wanyama.
With the prevailing hard economic times, one can only hope there will be a turn in fortunes to enable Felista and Joyce and other breastfeeding mothers to afford their families a balanced diet. Henry Tende, Lookuptv.
Henry Tende with that story. Larry, constituency leaders in Kiambu County have strongly criticized the national government and the county government of Kiambu for what they say is denying them clean water, led by Member of Parliament Mburu Kahangara and the leaders. They claim that for many years their water has been useful to other people, but not to them.
Mmechimba borehole Roromo. Roromo ni kwetu. Hiyo maji mmebeba, mmepeleka kwengine, hata yule yako hapo kwa borehole hana maji. Anachimba shimo. Si kweli? Don't have water. How? Tuko na Fadhi dam hapo. Maji imetoka hapo inaenda Deia. We agree fine wale wakunywe maji, lakini why aren't we benefiting with these services ambazo zinatoka kwetu? We are the ones who are conserving the forest. Na ndio mito imetoka kwa msitu, lakini sasa ikifika wakati wa maji watu getilia hapa chini. Watu wanaenda kuchota maji na punda na mitungi. Maji toke Roromo, tuwapatie pale Kifagare, jenga tank hapo, teremsha maji escarpment na getilia.
Niyo mto ndio unapata imepita huku na ndio you expect the communities here. Ndio wanatumia maji direct from the river. So you can now get the kind of things that they are consuming, and I think that's something that you need to be looked into. And now that you have the CC or environment kwa county, some things to do with the enforcement with the pollution, that's another entity which is belong to the national government, and I think that is something that needs to be looked into.
Well, we'll take a short break right here on Look Up News. Once we come back, more stories continue. Remember, we are online at Lookuptv across all our social media platforms. Once we come back, more stories to come, including the outlook of the real estate sector and 2022. Take a break.
lucky to have you throughout the whole year, our esteemed clients. And as they say, a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a step.
Merry Christmas and a prosperous New Year.
Vera Beauty and Fashion College is focused on being the leading technical and vocational training institute in the region. Our team possesses in-depth knowledge and extensive experience in the industry, offering thorough training in cosmetology, hairdressing, interior design, creative arts, training of trainers, nail technology, and fashion design. With branches in Nairobi, Thika, Meru, Eldoret, and now in Mombasa, our courses ensure that learners are completely equipped with knowledge, competency, and employability skills. Enroll today to be a part of a center of excellence.
Hi everyone, my name is John Bramwell, engineer Utukas Africa. As the holiday season progresses, we want to take a moment to thank you for your support and partnership. We are grateful for every opportunity to work with you. We have accomplished so much together, and as we look ahead to the new year, we are excited for what the future holds and are committed to continually providing the best e-mobility products and services to you, our customers, throughout the entire East African community. On behalf of everyone at Utukas Africa, we wish you and your loved ones a Merry Christmas and a happy, prosperous New Year. Have a great festive season and stay safe. We look forward to working with you again in the years ahead. Thank you.
Welcome back to Look Up News. Now, cattle raiding and banditry continue to cause havoc in the in what remains a key concern for the Kenya Kwanza government. Azian Ketani now narrates.
Now, banditry has been a menace in the country, counties in the Rift Valley region being the most affected with cases of cattle rustling. Insecurity in the region continues to be a key concern, especially in West Pokot, Turkana, Elgeyo Marakwet and Baringo counties. But the question is, what is the root cause of these attacks?
I think basically the issue of banditry, or rather insecurities in Turkana, or in counties of Turkana, Baringo, West Pokot, is basically a matter of resource scarcity. In my own opinion, that is what I opine that maybe that could be the reason. Basically, in those counties, there are some counties which are more endowed with the more natural resources that our people are fighting for.
As the year draws to an end, the country has witnessed more than 100 cases of banditry attacks in the northern parts of Rift Valley, with West Pokot, Turkana, Samburu and Elgeyo Marakwet being the mostly affected counties in regard to matters in security. In February this year, a school bus ferrying students from a school trip was attacked in Tot, leading to the death of one student, with at least 15 more left seriously injured. A few weeks later, 4 more people lost their lives in a banditry attack in Kapturo, Baringo County, and 2 more others losing their lives, including a foreign tourist in Lodwar, West Pokot County, due to banditry attacks. As the ripple effects of banditry attacks continue to be felt in the North Rift region, Dr. Likaka Lishetu insists that the government ought to do more through localized sensitization.
The traditional way of life means that they are surviving on livestock. Unless we change the core where we actually remove them from livestock and focus on other socioeconomic well-being. If we don't do that, we can't solve the problem. Because there's no way you'll actually deny these people livestock, yet you don't give them alternative.
The Cabinet Secretary, Professor Kithure Kindiki, sounding a stern warning to cattle riders in the North Rift region, assuring them that they will have it rough as the government is set to take them head on.
Wale watu wote katika hii county ya Samburu, Marsabit, Turkana, West Pokot, Elgeyo Marakwet, Baringo, Laikipia, Isiolo, wale watu ambao kazi yao miaka nenda miaka rudi ni kuiba ng'ombe za wengine na kuua wananchi. Niko hapa leo kuwaambia mkome mara moja.
With banditry being a key concern in the country, former President Kenyatta did his part in battling the menace. However, his efforts did not bear any fruits as more banditry attacks occurred. Tiati constituency in Baringo County has been the battlefield for bandits in the North Rift region for some time now, with allegations of politicians funding the attacks. In May this year, more than 10 people lost their lives to banditry attacks in Chebinyinyi and Ngataruko area of Baringo, with more than 50 cows lost to bandits. With the affected counties battling underdevelopment, Aaron Nanok believes that this has been brought about by the insecurity in the region.
I mean, you cannot produce food in an insecure area. You cannot even go to the farm. You might have the resources that you need to, what they call factors of production, but because you are insecure, you cannot even go to your farm and so that you can produce some food for your household and even for the community. To me, it is one of the major contributing factor to the underdevelopment of those areas.
After taking the oath of office, President William Ruto gave an ultimatum to the bandits in the country, led by Elgeyo Marakwet, Baringo and Turkana.
Mimi nilishawaambia kazi hiyo ya kukoroga amani, kupiganisha wananchi, bunduki left, right and center, hiyo kazi tutaikomesha. Wawache hiyo kazi kwa hiari, na kama hawatawacha kwa hiari, watawacha kwa lazima.
However, despite the stern warning by the president, just a week after being sworn in, 11 people were attacked and killed by bandits in Turkana. Among them, 8 police officers while pursuing cattle that was stolen in Turkana County.
Attacked a police vehicle, killing 8 police officers, a chief and 2 civilians.
Hawaamini kwamba serikali iko. Sasa mimi ninasema kwamba kama serikali inataka kuonesha ama kuconvince Wakenya kwamba serikali iko, wahakikishe kwamba bunduki za serikali zote ambayo imechukuliwa Tiati, hiyo bunduki irudishwe.
In his first official visit to Turkana as the head of state, President William Ruto was vocal on tackling banditry, assuring residents that the government will do what it takes to ensure the bandits surrender.
Mambo ya wizi wa ng'ombe, mambo ya mauaji ya wananchi kiholela na wakora na watu wachache, hiyo biashara itakoma na sio tafadhali, itakoma. Mumenielewa? Na tafadhali waambie wala wanaendesha hiyo biashara. Mimi nimesema leo nikiwa Turkana, watafute kazi ingine, kwa sababu hiyo haitawezekana tena katika taifa letu la Kenya.
According to Dr. Lishetu, the only way to deal with the issue of banditry is through localized consultations, as different regions have different challenges as compared to the use of force.
One of the things in terms of addressing challenges in society, it will not mean an eye for an eye. There must be an alternative. There's what we call proactive means and reactive means. There's no way you'll say, fine, they're using guns, therefore we can also use guns. Remember the great GSU officer who actually talked to the young people in 2007 when they're actually demonstrating in Madare. Even alternatives should be found by providing an avenue for negotiation, agreeing using local means, and having localized problem. My biggest problem is that Kenya is not one homogeneous country. So it will require that there is need to have localized solutions. Yes, we have the constitution, we have the law, but how you'll handle issues around Baringo is not the way you handle issues in Kajiado.
With speculations indicating that the bandits are funded by politicians as they use sophisticated weapons, Nanok narrated that the bandits could be funded by politicians in one way or the other.
I'm told, I have some information that there are people who are buying most of the banditry attacks. I'm reliably informed that there are politicians who are on cattle business. They therefore supply some of these cattle to the Kenya Meat Commission, and therefore to me it's a business that someone is buying.
There is an element where the political leaders play a role, not necessarily in terms of funding, but when politicians will want to play to the whims of the community by coming closer to say we are protecting our people or our people are being harassed. That is how it automatically translates that the politicians have a role to actually solve the problem and provide a way forward. Because if politicians hold meetings and guide the young people, provide alternative, generally young people will not be involved in crime. Who are the real caterers? The actual best in Nairobi. They're the people who make all the arrangements, and then the young people in the village implement their deal.
According to Aaron Nanok, commercialization of cattle in the region is part of the causes that contribute to the rise of insecurity in the region.
I will entirely speak of, for example, Uganda and Kenya. I think to me, it is something that I have some reservations, but I think there's some shreds of truth in it, because what the information I have is that some of these bandits, they even cross the border, they get the ammunition from the other side of Uganda, and even the ones who are in Uganda, they even raid Kenya and then they take the animals. For example, the corridor that borders Kenya, that is Uganda, Turkana, South Sudan. To me, most of these bandits, for example, the one that from Turkana, West Pokot, Baringo, there's some reliable information that they even get the ammunition from Uganda. Therefore, there is some shreds, there's some elements of people commercializing the business of banditry in East Africa.
Even as the government steps its efforts in fighting banditry, the question remains, will President William Ruto's government walk the talk?
Ian Kitani with that report. The real estate sector in the country continues to recover from the adverse effects of the COVID-19 pandemic. According to the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics, the first quarter of 2022 saw the sector grow by 0.4% from a 5.2% growth recorded in quarter 4 of 2021 to 6.1% in quarter 1 of 2022. With the country going through a smooth electioneering period in 2022, investors are upbeat that the sector is likely to experience exponential growth in 2023, buoyed by the planned infrastructure projects by the government. Simba, Elijah Charles Kiage sat with Shiba Rora, the Chief Executive Officer of Superior Homes, to chat on the sector's outlook as well as the launch of conservancy living by the leading real estate company in Kenya. Let's take a look. So I'm now joined by Shiba Rora, the CEO of Superior Homes, on the sidelines of this particular event where they are launching conservancy living, which you would say is not a new concept in the real estate sector, but then again, it's the very first time that Superior Homes is getting into this particular space. So Shiba, how are you doing, sir?
I'm good, thank you. How are you? You're well?
Fantastic, happy to have you around. So for anybody who wants to understand why you are getting into this space, what will you tell them?
It's a really unique concept, Kenya Wildlife Estate, because it's bush living, a community in nature, living, green open spaces next to wildlife, low density development, minimum plot size of a half acre, but still borrowing from things that Superior Homes is good at, which is master planning, controlled developments, well-managed estates, and most importantly, it's bush living, conservancy living, but 20 to 30 minutes to the CBD. So you can be working, hustling, bustling in the CBD, but still move and have your peace, quiet, tranquility, and a serene environment in your home. So it's new concept, a unique concept, yes, but still borrowing on a lot of the things that Superior Homes does well.
For you to have confidence that this is exactly going to work, you have to borrow from where this particular concept has worked. What do you think makes the Kenyan market special that gives you the confidence that you are going to pilot this and it's going to work?
Look, the Kenyan market needs things like this. It's when people thought about Green Park 15 years ago, people are like, what is Ian Anderson doing, on that dusty Mombasa road, building up homes in Athi River? Today, Green Park's one of the most successful master plan developments in East Africa. So it's about seeing where the market is moving to. People are now happy to live a little bit outside the city, right? So that they can have ease of better life, more open air, and really enjoy what Kenya is supposed to look like with a serene, tranquil environment, but still get into the city. It's not only superior homes. If you look, across Thika Road, Mombasa Road, Eastern Bypass, there's so many developments that are opening up which are giving people that ability to break away. So this is a really unique concept. Nairobi is a unique city, right? We have the Nairobi National Park, and the Hopcrafts, whose ranch this is, where we bought 100 acres from. Out of the 18,000, 14,000 acres has been gifted to the, as a conservancy. So it's really just an extension of all the wildlife, and for people to be able to live in that sort of an environment is pretty unique.
One of the biggest critics of the way the real estate sector has been performing, and we'll get into that shortly, is that we have failed to define this client that we're looking for in the real estate sector, to the point that we are now recycling these clients. Would you say that your target customer in this type of concept now is especially a brand new customer that you haven't had any other time in Kenya?
I don't necessarily think it's a brand new customer. I mean, there's a little bit of recycling, but at the same time, there's an ability to sell someone a vision and a concept and show them a track record of delivery. So you'll get a client that you never had before. So I think the market's growing and it's big enough for a lot of developers to have clients. So we're not seeing that much recycling. What we are seeing is developers having their set of clients who will always buy from them no matter what project they sort of do. And that to us is sort of what gets us going. Yeah.
Let's talk about the pricing, because we could see that half acre starts at 8.8 million, all the way up to the 2-acre piece of 1.5 acre piece of property you're selling. What makes it special? The pricing?
It's really good value for money. I mean, a 3-bedroom house is more than 300 square meters on a half-acre plot for 29.8 million in a beautiful environment. You go around to the other, sort of high-end estates within the city, you're talking 100 million shillings. It's good value for money. And Superior Homes has always been that. It's really controlled, master plan, beautifully architectured developments, but people never feel like they're not getting value for money. And I think when it comes down to pricing, that's really been our key. We're not there to make a shilling out of every acre. And yeah, that's what determines it.
So one of the questions that you really got during the time when you're selling this idea is about privacy, fencing. But then you're saying if it's going to be a conservancy idea, then it's going to be completely open. Do you think that is going to take away customers, especially for the Kenyan customer?
So it's not going to be completely open in the sense that there will be no perimeter fencing. There will be, but it won't be a masonry wall. It will be a cactus with a freestanding electric fence and plantings that form a natural border and a natural boundary. People already, there's about 20, 30 families that live on the Hopcraft Ranch, and their fences are natural cactus, freestanding electric fence, which you can see through. So it's not intrusive. So for us, it's not a big boundary wall in the Kenyan context. It's something that provides a security, peace of mind, and comfort to you that there is adequate security, but at the same time blends into the environment. Yeah.
All right, let's talk about the entire performance of the real estate sector as we close this shift. I mean, up to now, we're still talking about the real estate sector not really pulling out of the market. It's been in a couple of years. Do you think 2023 presents a chance for the sector?
Yeah, look, the real estate market's gone through a tough time. Interest rate caps starting all the way back many years ago. And you and I spoke about that many years ago. And then COVID, then electioneering. And I think the market's been sluggish, but I think we're now seeing signs of recovery. It's new government, peaceful transition. We move ahead, and we just move on. And that's what people were always wanted. It was almost like a wait and see approach. For us, COVID and that market gave us a different type of opportunity because people liked the serenity, big garden spaces. So that helped us during that market, that time. At the same time, we're seeing a lot of infrastructure developments now coming to completion. That just drives real estate. We're seeing government starting to release payments back into the market. That drives real estate. There's competition between banks on mortgage rates. That drives it. But remember, we're still in the midst of a very tough global economic time at the moment. It's a difficult and challenging environment globally from a macroeconomic perspective. So I don't think it's going to be, you're not going to see a huge oh great, January 1st is here and we're all going to do well. But it will be a slow recovery.
When you look at your development at Green Park Estate, you would say stellar performance. I mean, when you're talking about the numbers that you have right now, you would say that is a successful project. Does that show you then that this sort of living that you're championing within the economy is what is needed to unlock the real estate sector?
Yeah, people need unique concepts and they need to stick to their guns. Green Park's been a journey of 15 years, 163-acre master plan. Real estate's a slow burn business, so we're starting to see that in the market now, that people are appreciating that it's a slow burn business. Gone are the heydays when you can be in and out of here in 3 years. So yeah, it's getting there. Concepts are becoming more and more unique, and developers are finding a niche. People are doing what they're good at, and that's good because people are doing well.
One of the agenda that the government is running on, and it's been known for quite some time now, since 2013, is the affordable housing, and it's a thing or it's a pillar that the current government has actually carried into this new administration. Then they say there are going to be two sides in this conversation: those who are going to lose out, and those who are going to win in this particular conversation. Why do you lie in this conversation, Chief?
Look, we're taking a watching brief on it. We think that there's going to need to be a lot of private sector involvement. It's not just about building the house. Who's going to buy it? You don't want an investor to come and then just create more renters. You want to actually enable home ownership. But it comes with social challenges. It comes with master planning. It comes with making sure that it's close enough to workplaces so that what you're saving on affordable housing, you're not spending in rent, in transport money. So we're taking a watching brief on it. We think it's interesting. We like and really are supportive of government towards doing it because it's needed. It's been done in other countries, but private sector needs to do it. We need a conducive and enabling environment, which we are now seeing government start to provide to us. So it's exciting.
Very much. I can't let you go, Chief, without us talking about what you think your outlook for 2023 for the real estate sector is going to be, and what you think informs your outlook, Chief.
So I think developers who are focused on specific sectors are going to do well. If you're in master plan, execute it well. If you're in student housing, execute it well. If you're in low-income housing, execute it well. I think you're going to see a lot of mixed-use developments as well come into the market. And to me, it's a more positive outlook going into 2023, so we're excited.
Very much, Chief. Always a pleasure speaking to you, sir. I wish you the very best in this, isn't it? All right, and Merry Christmas, Happy New Year as well.
Happy holidays.
Anytime. All right, let's look at our sports now. The main pool championship organizer Nick Marrow stated that the reason to start pool championship was to nurture talent. This year's tournament was organized at the county of Uasin Gishu. According to the organizers, more pool games will be organized in the coming days with an aim of reaching more counties. This year's event saw participation from both men and women, with the winner pocketing $500,000 shillings.
Tumeona washirika kutoka sehemu zote za Kenya wameweza kufika hapa Eldoret. Tumeona wanaume walikuwa zaidi ya 500 wakakuja mpaka 256, wakakuja 264 na sasa tumepata washindi. Wanawake tulipata idadi ya 80, wakakuja 47 na hao ndio wamemaliza kama finalist, na tumeshukuru sana. Tumejiona